Welcome to Anita Break, the podcast where we hit pause on life, dive into random yet relatable topics, and try to laugh as much as possible. And yes, sometimes that does include laughing at ourselves sometimes. I'm your host, Anita. Yes, like I need a break. And if you do too, then guess what? You are in the right place. If you are into podcasts that are 15 minutes or less, then this podcast is perfect for you. I want you to do me a quick favor. I want you to take a deep breath in. I want you to hold that for about 5 seconds. Now, I want you to breathe out. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a quick break together. Just so you know, this is a clean, family-friendly podcast. So that means that there will never ever be any type of cursing, explicit, or demeaning content. So if that's not your cup of tea, then please feel free to exit because we're all about spreading laughter, love, and positive vibes over here. Depending on how well this podcast takes off, I will do my very best to post episodes weekly or several times a week. I have been failing a little bit lately, but I'm going to try to do better because life has really been lifing lately. All right, now that we got all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into the topic for this episode. Okay, so this episode is going to be a little bit serious. I want to talk about how deadly uncontrolled stress can be. And the reason why I wanted to talk briefly about that for this episode is because I unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, had to learn the hard way how deadly stress can be. The hard, unfiltered truth, and I'm going to repeat that because my words slurred a little bit. The hard, unfiltered truth about stress is that stress can kill you. One of the things that I learned, unfortunately, is that if you don't control your stress, it can definitely set you up for things like heart attacks, strokes. It can also cause nerve problems, even stomach ulcers, just to name a few. And my episode that happened to me a couple of weeks ago was a wake up call. And I had to realize at that moment that if I do not find constructive and positive outlets for my stress, it's going to take me out of here. And I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to leave this earth just yet. So if you are a chronic stressor or worrier like me, because I am a worry wart, I urge you to please, please, please find constructive outlets, positive outlets to channel your stress and do it quickly as soon as possible. Do not wait until it's too late because some people, I learned this as well, unfortunately, during my episode, that some people have actually died from an aneurysm because of uncontrolled stress. You know, we live in a world where we have stressors coming every which way at us. And sometimes I get it. It can be too hard to bear at times. Sometimes it feels like you're looking down more than you are looking up. But even with all that being said, we have to try to find the light at the end of the tunnel and not allow our stress to get the best of us or to kill us. Because my body had to let me know several weeks ago that Anita, if you don't stop what you're doing, you finna take us out of here. We ain't gonna be here long. And that lets you know how much stress I have been putting my body under. I won't go into too much detail about what I went through, but I will say it was heart related. And I have been a chronic stressor and worrier for over 20 years, close to 30 years. And excuse the train if that's coming through on this audio. It has been So bad to the point where I would stress myself to where I would have stomach pains, I would have headaches, I would have chest pains, I would have shortness of breath because I could not breathe. I would have nerve and facial twitching, especially across my eyes because I was allowing that extreme stress to just wreak havoc on my body. And a couple of weeks ago, my body pretty much just said enough is enough. This is it. You cannot keep doing this because your clock is running out. And so from that moment on, I immediately found different avenues to channel my stress. And one of the things, or a few of the things I should say, rather, that I started doing was I started eating healthier. I was gorging fast food and deep fried food like you would not believe. And that doesn't help somebody like me who's already a chronic stressor and worrier. But since I have changed my eating habits, I started working out more. I started taking on other hobbies like crocheting and needling, even increasing my exercises and using exercise as a form of letting out or as an outlet of channeling my stress. It has done wonders for me. So if you are out there listening to this podcast episode and you happen to be a chronic stressor or anxious person or a chronic worrier, please, 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 I urge you, please find positive outlets and avenues to channel your stress. I don't want you or anybody else to go through what I went through. And I definitely don't want you or I to lose our lives because we have allowed uncontrolled chronic stress to wreak havoc and take control over our lives. So, now that we got all of that out the way, I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast episode. I didn't want it to make it I didn't want it to make it dark and depressing, but I really wanted to use my experience and what I went through to hopefully encourage somebody else out there who may be a chronic stressor or worrier to get control of their stresses before it's too late. I don't want them to end up in the hospital like I did, because that was an experience that I don't ever want to go through again. And I don't want any of you out there who's listening to this podcast episode to go through that either. We only got one life, and I want us to live it to the fullest. All right. So if you have enjoyed this podcast episode, please leave me a comment here or on my blog. Maybe you have something that you would like to share that could encourage me and others as far as different things that you've done to channel your stress. It could be swimming, jogging, running, coloring, whatever it may be. Share it. What has helped you? Because it may very well help somebody else. So again, if you would like to leave a comment, please leave a comment here or on my blog. My blog is AnitaBreakPod.com. That is AnitaBreakPod.com. I'm going to spell it. That's ANITA, B as in boy, REAK, P as in Paul, OD as in David.com. Okay, you guys, please be safe out there. Take very good care of yourself, and please be well.